Imagine standing beneath an alien sky where the sun appears smaller, the horizon glows red, and Earth is nothing more than a tiny bright star in the distance. For thousands of years, humanity has gazed at Mars and wondered what secrets it holds. Ancient civilizations saw it as a symbol of war and mystery, while modern scientists see something entirely different, a possible second home for humanity. As Earth faces growing challenges and technology advances at an incredible pace, the dream of living on another planet has moved from science fiction to scientific planning. Could humans truly build a future on the Mars? The answer begins with understanding why this distant world has fascinated generations. Mars is not just another planet, it is humanity's next great frontier. The journey towards becoming a multi-planetary species may become one of the most important chapters in the human history. In this video, we will explore the science, challenges, controversies, opportunities, and incredible possibilities that surround humanity's quest to live on the red planet. The question is no longer whether we can reach Mars, we already have. The real question is whether we can survive, thrive, and create a civilization there. Every great achievement began with a dream that seemed impossible. Crossing oceans, flying through the skies, and landing on the moon were once considered fantasies. Today, Mars represents the next impossible dream waiting to become a reality. As we begin this journey, imagine yourself as one of the first settlers stepping onto Martian soil. What would you see? What dangers would you face? And most importantly, what future could you help create? The answers lie ahead. Mars challenges our imagination, our technology, and our courage. It forces us to ask not only whether humans can live on Mars, but also what kind of future we want for our species. The adventure starts now with a simple yet profound question that may define the next 1,000 years of human civilization. Could humans really live on the Mars? Long before rockets and space agencies existed, Mars captured the imagination of ancient civilization. Its distinctive red glow in the night sky made it stand out from every other celestial object. The Romans named it after their god of war, while many cultures believed it held a supernatural significance. As centuries passed, scientists began observing Mars through telescopes, revealing polar caps, seasonal changes, and mysterious surface markings. Some even speculated that intelligent civilizations might exist there. Mars gradually became a symbol of exploration and possibility. Science fiction writers imagined thriving Martian cities, alien civilizations, and daring journeys across the space. Today, Mars continues to inspire humanity because it represents the next great challenge beyond Earth. Unlike distant exoplanets, Mars is close enough to reach with current technology. It offers a realistic opportunity for humans to establish a second home beyond the Earth. Our fascination with Mars reflects something deeply human, the desire to explore unknown frontiers and push beyond limitations. Every generation has had its frontier. For earlier explorers, it was the oceans. For astronauts, It was the moon for our generation and those that follow. Mars may become the ultimate frontier. Its mystery continues to challenge our curiosity, encouraging us to ask questions about life, survival, and humanity's future among the stars. The story of Mars exploration is one of the persistence, failure, and remarkable achievements. Early observations provided only blurry glimpses of the red planet, but they sparked enormous curiosity. In the 1960s, spacecraft finally began visiting the Mars. The Mariner missions delivered humanity's first close-up images, revealing a barren and cratered world. Later, the Viking missions successfully landed on the Mars and conducted experiments searching for signs of life. Decades later came Spirit and Opportunity, two rovers designed for missions lasting only a few months. Astonishingly, they continued exploring for years, uncovering evidences of ancient water. Curiosity expanded our understanding further by studying Martian geology and habitability. Today, Perseverance continues searching for signs of ancient microbial life while connecting samples that may eventually return to Earth. Each mission has revealed a new piece of the Martian puzzle. Every rover track, photographs, and scientific discovery brings humanity closer to answering whether Mars once supported life and whether humans can someday live there. The history of Mars exploration demonstrates that extraordinary achievements often begin with simple curiosity and relentless determination. To understand whether humans can live on the Mars, we must first understand the planet itself. Mars is approximately half the size of Earth and poses only about 38% of Earth's gravity. A person weighing 100 kilograms on Earth would feel as though they weighed only 38 kilograms on the Mars. The planet experiences seasons because it tilts on its axis similarly to the Earth. A Martian day lasts about 24 hours and 39 minutes, remarkably close to our own. However, Mars is much colder, with average temperatures around minus 60 degrees Celsius. Its atmosphere is extremely thin and consists mostly of carbon dioxide, making it impossible for humans to breathe without assistance. Mars is also home to extraordinary geological features, including Olympus Mons, the largest volcano in the solar system, and Valles Marineris, a canyon system thousands of kilometers long. These dramatic landscapes reveal a complex history. Understanding Mars helps scientists determine which challenges future settlers will face and which resources may support long-term survival. At first glance, Mars appears hostile and lifeless, yet among all planets in our solar system, it remains the most Earth-like. Both planets experience seasons, possess polar ice caps, and have days of similar length. Evidence suggests that ancient Mars once contained rivers, lakes, and perhaps even oceans. Scientists believe the planet may once have possessed a thicker atmosphere capable of supporting liquid water. These similarities make Mars uniquely attractive for colonization. However, major differences remain. Mars lacks a breathable atmosphere and poses significantly lower gravity. Temperatures are far colder and harmful radiation reaches the surface more easily. Despite these obstacles, their similarities inspire optimism. If Mars once resembled Earth, perhaps technology can help humans adapt to its environment. Understanding both the similarities and differences is essential for determining whether Mars can truly become humanity's second home. One of the most exciting discoveries about Mars is the overwhelming evidence that water once flowed across its surface. Satellite images reveal ancient river valleys carved into the landscape billions of years ago. Scientists have discovered lake beds, mineral deposits, and sediment layers that strongly suggest long-term interaction with liquid water. Massive underground ice reserves remain hidden beneath the surface today. Some regions contain enough frozen water to support future colonies. Water changes everything because where water exists, life becomes possible. Ancient Mars may have been warmer and wetter than it is today, creating environments capable of supporting microbial organisms. These discoveries transformed Mars from a barren desert into a world with a potentially habitable past. Future explorers may use these water resources not only for drinking but also for producing oxygen and fuel. Water could become the foundation of human survival on the Mars. The search for life is one of the most important scientific questions ever asked. Billions of years ago, Mars possessed conditions that may have supported simple microbial life. Scientists have detected organic molecules and observed mysterious methane fluctuations that continues to puzzle researchers. While no direct evidence of life has been found, many scientists believe ancient Mars may have been habitable. Imagine microscopic organisms thriving in ancient Martian lakes while Earth itself was still evolving. If life once existed independently on the Mars, it would suggest that life may be common throughout the universe. Such a discovery would revolutionize science, philosophy, and humanity's understanding of its place in the cosmos. The search continues today with every rover and future mission bringing us closer to an answer. Imagine boarding a spacecraft unlike anything humanity has ever built. Through the small window, Earth slowly shrinks behind you until it becomes a pale blue star among the countless others. The excitement is overwhelming, but so is the reality. You are traveling near 225 million kilometers through deep space towards a world where no human has ever walked. The journey to Mars is not a weekend trip or even a voyage lasting a few weeks. Sorry. Depending on planetary positions, astronauts may spend 6 to 9 months traveling through the harsh vacuum of space. Through this journey, astronauts face challenges unlike anything experienced on the Earth. Outside the spacecraft, deadly cosmic radiation constantly bombards the vessel. Inside, crew members lived in confined spaces with limited privacy, performing the same routines day after day. Communication delays increase as distance grows. A simple message to Earth may take over 25 minutes to arrive. Conversations become impossible. In future, Martian explorers must learn to solve problems independently. Yet this voyage also offers breathtaking moments. Astronauts may witness solar storms, distant planets, and views of the universe that few humans have ever imagined. Every sunrise and sunset reminds them they are pioneers traveling towards history. The spacecraft itself becomes a miniature world containing everything needed for survival: food, water, oxygen, power, and hope. As Mars gradually grows larger in the spacecraft window, excitement builds. Years of planning, billions of dollars, and decades of scientific progress have led to this moment. Humanity is about to cross another frontier, just as sailors once crossed vast oceans without knowing what awaited them. Future astronauts will venture into the unknown. The journey to Mars is more than a technological challenge. It is a test of human courage, resilience, and determination. Every kilometer traveled brings humanity closer to answering one of its oldest questions. Can we truly make another planet our home? The first human mission to Mars will likely be remembered alongside the moon landing as one of the greatest achievements in the history. Imagine a team of highly trained astronauts representing humanity's best scientists, engineers, doctors, and explorers. For years, they prepare physically and mentally for a mission that will change their life forever. Training includes surviving isolation, handling emergencies, repairing spacecraft systems, and learning how to live with limited resources. Every skill matters because there will be no rescue mission waiting nearby. These astronauts must become completely self-reliant. When the first crew arrives at the Mars, their objectives will extend far beyond planting a flag. They will conduct scientific research, test life support systems, search for resources, and begin building infrastructure for future settlers. Every action will contribute to humanity's long-term presence on another world. The psychological challenge may be even greater than the physical one. These explorers will spend years away from the Earth, family, and familiar environments. They must remain focused despite loneliness, uncertainty, and enormous responsibility. The first human mission will symbolize much more than technological achievement. It will demonstrate what humanity can accomplish through cooperation, innovation, and the vision. The future generations may look back on these pioneers as the founders of an entirely new chapter in civilization. After months of travel, the spacecraft finally reaches Mars. Excitement fills the cabin, but the most dangerous phase of the mission is about to begin. Landing on Mars is often described as the 7 minutes of terror. Everything must work perfectly. Unlike Earth, Mars has an atmosphere too thin to provide sufficient braking, yet thick enough to create extreme heat during entry. Engineers must design complex systems involving heat shields, parachutes, rockets, and advanced navigation technologies. As the spacecraft enters the atmosphere, temperatures rise dramatically. The crew experiences intense forces while descending towards the surface. Outside flames surrounding the vehicle. Every second feels critical. Finally, the dust gets settled. The engines stop. Silence fills the cabin. Then comes the historical announcement. Humanity has landed on the Mars. When the hatch opens and the first astronaut steps onto Martian soil, billions of people back on Earth watches history unfold. For the first time, humans stand on another planet. The red landscape stretches endlessly in every direction, both beautiful and intimidating. The first settlers cannot simply survive on the Mars, they must build a home. Immediately after landing, astronauts begin assembling habitats delivered by earlier cargo missions. These structures become the foundation of the first Martian settlement. Every component is carefully designed to withstand extreme temperatures, radiation, dust storms, and the harsh environment. Some habitats may be inflatable, while others could be constructed using Martian soil through advanced 3D printing technologies. Living underground may offer additional protection from radiation and meteor impacts. Over time, habitats expand into laboratories, greenhouses, workshops, and living quarters. The first Mars base will resemble a frontier outpost rather than a city. Resources are limited and every system must function efficiently. Water, oxygen, food, and energy becomes precious commodities. Yet, despite these challenges, each structure built on the Mars represents something extraordinary. Humanity is no longer merely visiting another planet, it is beginning to live there. The first base becomes a symbol of resilience, innovation, and the determination to create a future beyond Earth. One of the greatest threats to human survival on Mars is invisible. Unlike Earth, Mars lacks a strong magnetic field that protects against harmful cosmic radiation. Every day, settlers face exposure levels significantly higher than those experienced on the Earth. Long-term radiation exposure increases risk of cancer, neurological disorders, and other health complications. This challenge cannot be ignored. Scientists are developing solutions ranging from underground habitats and thick protective walls to advanced sealing materials. Some concepts involve using Martian soil itself as a protective barrier. Future colonies may build entire communities beneath the surface where radiation levels are significantly lower. Technology and engineering will play crucial roles in reducing the risk. Although radiation presents a serious obstacle, history shows that humanity consistently develops solutions to seemingly impossible problems. Understanding and managing radiation may become one of the most important steps towards permanent settlement on the Mars. One simple question determines survival on the Mars. How will humans breathe? Mars' atmosphere contains approximately 95% carbon dioxide and almost no oxygen suitable for human life. Future settlers cannot rely on supplies shipped from Earth forever. Instead, they must produce oxygen locally. This concept, known as in situ resource utilization, transforms Martian resources into life support systems. NASA's MOXIE experiment already demonstrated the ability to generate oxygen directly from the Martian atmosphere. Future versions could operate on a much larger scale, supporting entire communities. Oxygen production facilities may become as important as power plants. They will provide breathable air, support agriculture, and contribute to the fuel production. Every breath taken on the Mars will represent a triumph of science and engineering. Through innovation, humanity may transform an unbreathable world into one capable of sustaining life. Water is the foundation of life. Without it, no settlement can survive. Fortunately, Mars contains significant quantities of frozen water hidden beneath its surface and within polar ice caps. Future settlers will use advanced drilling and extraction technologies to access these reserves. Once collected, water serves multiple purposes: drinking, agriculture, hygiene, oxygen production, and even rocket fuel manufacturing. Recycling systems will become extremely sophisticated. Nearly every drop will be purified and reused. Wastewater, humidity, and even condensation will contribute to the closed loop systems. The discovery of accessible water transforms Mars from a barren desert into a potentially habitable world. It reduces dependence on the Earth and increases the possibility of long-term self-sufficiency. For future Martians, water will be more valuable than the gold. It will support every aspect of survival and help transform humanity's dream into reality. Imagine arriving on the Mars and opening the door to a greenhouse glowing brightly against the red landscape. Inside, rows of green vegetation stretch towards artificial sunlight. In a world where no forests exist, these planets represent far more than food, they represent survival. Every colony must become self sufficient, and that begins with the agriculture. Transporting food from the earth forever would be impractical and extremely expensive. Future settlers will therefore rely on advanced farming technologies such as hydroponics and aeroponics. Instead of soil, plants may grow in nutrient rich water solutions. Artificial intelligence will monitor temperature, humidity, nutrients, and lighting to maximize the yields. Growing food on Mars also provides psychological benefits. Fresh vegetables, flowers, and greenery can improve mental health and creates a sense of connection to the earth. Future Martian farmers may cultivate potatoes, lettuce, tomatoes, wheat, and even fruits within carefully controlled environments. Scientists are already conducting experiments on the Earth and aboard the International Space Station to understand how crops grow in reduced gravity. Every successful harvest brings humanity one step closer to sustainable life on another planet. Food production is not merely an agricultural challenge, it is the foundation of a future civilization. So every civilization depends on energy. On Mars, power will determine whether settlements flourish or fail. Imagine a growing colony illuminated against the darkness of the Martian night. Every light, computer, greenhouse, and life support system depends on a reliable source of electricity. Solar power is one of the most promising solutions. Mars receives less sunlight than Earth, but large solar farms could still generate significant energy. However, massive dust storms can reduce sunlight for weeks or even months. Therefore, future colonies will likely combine solar technology with nuclear reactors capable of providing continuous power. Energy storage systems will also be essential. Advanced batteries and innovative storage technologies may ensure uninterrupted electricity during emergencies. As settlements expand, power grids could connect multiple habitats, industries, and research facilities. Throughout human history, access to energy has shaped civilizations. On Mars, energy will not simply support progress, it will support the life itself. Every watt generated represents security, growth, and the possibility of transforming a hostile planet into a thriving home for humanity. The human body evolved under Earth's gravity, atmosphere, and environment. Mars presents a completely different world. Although Martian gravity is stronger than that experienced aboard spacecraft, it is only 38% of Earth's gravity. Scientists still do not fully understand how humans will adapt to such conditions over decades. Muscles may weaken, bones could lose density, the cardiovascular system may function differently. Astronauts living on the Mars will require regular exercise, medical monitoring, and specialized treatments to maintain health. Mental health presents another challenge. Isolation, confinement, and distance from the Earth could create stress unlike anything experienced before. Imagine celebrating birthdays millions of kilometers from family or waiting 25 minutes for a simple message to arrive. Future settlers must develop resilience, strong social connections, and effective coping strategies. Medical technology will become increasingly advanced. Artificial intelligence, robotic surgery, and telemedicine may support healthcare in remote settlements. Future Martian doctors will handle emergencies with limited resources and significant delays in receiving assistance from the Earth. Despite these challenges, humans have consistently adapted to new environments throughout history. Mars may become the next chapter in humanity's remarkable story of survival and evolution. At first, Mars will be inhabited by scientists and explorers, but eventually settlements may grow into communities. Imagine children laughing beneath protective domes, schools teaching Martian history, and neighborhoods developing their own traditions and cultures. As populations increases, questions about governance, law, education, and social structure becomes increasingly important. What values will shape Martian society? How will resources be shared? What responsibilities will citizens have? Life on the Mars may encourage unprecedented cooperation. Every individual's survival depends on collective effort. Engineers, farmers, doctors, scientists, and educators all contribute to the community's success. Unlike many societies on the Earth, early Martian settlements may prioritize collaboration above competition. Over generations, Mars could develop its own identity. Language, customs, architecture, and culture may gradually evolve in response to the unique environment. Future Martians may view themselves as both citizens of Mars and descendants of Earth. Building a society on Mars is not simply about technology, it is about creating a sustainable and meaningful way of life for future generations. Among the boldest ideas in planetary science is terraforming, the process of transforming Mars into a more Earth-like world. Imagine standing on a future Mars where temperatures are warmer, the atmosphere is thicker, and liquid water flows once again across the surface. Terraforming would involve enormous engineering projects spanning centuries or even millennia. Scientists have proposed releasing greenhouse gases, melting polar ice, and creating artificial atmospheric systems. The goal would be to gradually increase temperatures and atmospheric pressure. However, the challenges are immense. Current research suggests Mars may not contain enough accessible resource to recreate Earth-like conditions easily. Many scientists believe terraforming remains far beyond today's technological capabilities. Yet history teaches us that ambitious dreams often inspire to extraordinary innovation, whether or not fully terraforming becomes possible. Efforts to improve living conditions on Mars could significantly enhance future settlements. Terraforming represents more than engineering. It represents humanity's desire to shape environments and expand the boundaries of civilization. It is one of the most ambitious visions ever imagined. Perhaps the most fascinating question about Martian colonization concerns future generations. Imagine the first child born on the Mars. That moment would symbolize humanity's transition from visitors to permanent residents of another world. Yet, enormous scientific questions remain unanswered. How would reduced gravity affect pregnancy and the childbirth? Would children develop differently than those born on the Earth? Could long-term exposure to Martian conditions influence growth, health, and evolution? Scientists currently have very little data because humans have never experienced reproduction beyond Earth. Extensive research will be required before families can safely establish permanent communities. If successful, future generations may become the first true Martians. They may grow up seeing Earth as a distant world known only through stories and images. Their perspective on humanity, identity, and exploration could differ dramatically from our own. The possibility of children being born on the Mars transforms colonization from a temporary mission into a long-term vision for civilization. It raises profound questions about humanity's future and remind us that Mars is not merely about exploration, it may eventually become home. Every great human endeavor attracts debate, and Mars colonization is no exception. As plans for human settlement becomes increasingly realistic, critics raise important questions. Some argue that humanity should focus on solving problems on the Earth before investing billions in another planet. They point to poverty, climate change, disease, and inequality as urgent challenges requiring immediate attention. Others question the ethics of colonizing another world. Could human activity contaminate potential Martian ecosystems? What if microbial life already exists beneath the surface? Would colonization destroy scientific opportunities to study an untouched planet? The financial costs also spark controversy. Building a spacecraft, habitats, life support systems, and infrastructure requires enormous investments. Critics ask whether these resources could be used more effectively elsewhere. There are also concerns about safety. Future settlers will face radiation exposure, equipment failures, isolation, and environmental dangers. Some believe the risks are simply too great, yet controversy is not necessarily a sign of failure. Throughout history, transformative ideas often faced skepticism. Ocean exploration, aviation, and spaceflight all encountered critics before becoming accepted realities. Mars colonization forces humanity to confront difficult questions about priorities, responsibility, and the future of civilization. These debates are valuable because they encourage careful planning and thoughtful decision making. Supporters of Mars exploration acknowledges the challenges but argue that exploration and solving Earth's problems are not mutually exclusive. Throughout history, ambitious projects have often generated technologies that improved everyday life. Satellite communications, GPS navigation, advanced medical devices, and countless innovations emerged from space programs. Mars research may drive breakthroughs in renewable energy, recycling systems, agriculture, artificial intelligence, medicine, and sustainable living. These advancements could benefit billions of people on the Earth. Supporters also emphasize long-term survival. Earth faces natural and human-made risk ranging from asteroid impacts to the global catastrophes. Establishing self-sustaining settlements beyond Earth could help ensure humanity's survival over thousands of years. Perhaps most importantly, exploration inspires future generations. Great achievements motivate young scientists, engineers, and innovators to pursue knowledge and solve complex problems. Mars provides a goal capable of uniting humanity around a shared vision, while criticism remains essential. Many supporters believe the pursuit of Mars ultimately strengthens humanity. Exploration does not represent an escape from the Earth, it represents an investment in humanity's future knowledge and resilience. The dream of living on the Mars is no longer confined to science fiction. Around the world, governments, scientists, and private organizations are actively developing technologies that could make human settlement possible. SpaceX has placed Mars at the center of its long-term vision. Massive reusable spacecraft are being developed with the goal of transporting large number of people and cargo to the red planet. Reusability dramatically reduces costs and increases mission frequency. Meanwhile, NASA continues conducting robotic exploration, testing life support systems, and studying the challenges of human missions. The agency's experience from lunar exploration and the International Space Station provides valuable knowledge for future Mars expeditions. The European Space Agency and other international partners contribute through research, robotics, scientific instruments, and collaborative projects. Universities and private companies worldwide are developing advanced habitats, oxygen generation technologies, water recycling systems, and agricultural solutions. Each successful experiment brings humanity closer to the Mars What once seemed impossible is gradually becoming achievable through cooperation, innovation, and persistence. The foundation for future Martian settlements is being built today, one technological breakthrough at a time. Imagine traveling hundreds of years into the future. As your spacecraft approaches the Mars, the view is dramatically different from today. Beneath protective domes and interconnected habitats, thriving cities stretch across the landscape. Bright lights illuminate research centers, residential districts, schools, hospitals, and industries. Advanced transportation systems connect settlements across vast distances. Greenhouse produces abundant food. Energy flows from powerful solar farms and next-generation reactors. Scientific discoveries made on the Mars benefit both the planets. Children learn about Earth as the birthplace of humanity while embracing their identity as Martians. New art forms, traditions, and cultures emerge. Mars becomes a center of innovation, exploration, and opportunity. Perhaps humanity eventually expands beyond Mars to the moons, asteroids, and distant planets. Mars serves as the bridge between a single planet civilization and truly interplanetary species. Although this future remains speculative, it demonstrates the extraordinary possibilities that may arise when humanity embraces exploration. The best case scenario is not simply about surviving on the Mars, it is about flourishing there and unlocking new chapters of civilization. Mars teaches lessons that extend far beyond space exploration. The challenges of surviving on another planet reveals the incredible value of Earth. Every breath of air, drop of water, fertile field, and a stable ecosystem becomes more precious when viewed through the lens of Martian survival. The journey to Mars also demonstrates the power of cooperation. No single nation, company, or individual can accomplish such an enormous task alone. Success requires collaboration among scientists, engineers, educators, leaders, and dreamers from around the world. Mars reminds us that innovation often emerges from necessity. Solutions developed for life on the Mars may help address challenges on Earth, improving sustainability and resource management. Most importantly, Mars teaches humility and gratitude. Against the vast backdrop of the universe, humanity shares a common home and a common future. Whether we remain on the Earth or expand to other worlds, our greatest strength lies in our ability to work together, learn, adapt, and imagine possibilities beyond current limitations. The Red Planet reminds us that extraordinary achievements begin with curiosity, perseverance, and hope. As our journey comes to an end, we return to the question that inspired this entire exploration: could humans live on the Mars? The evidence suggests that while the challenges are immense, the possibility is real. Mars is not an easy destination. It is cold, dry, hostile, and unforgiving. Yet, throughout history, humanity has repeatedly achieved what once seemed impossible. We crossed oceans, conquered flight, reached the moon, and connected the world through technology. Mars represents the next chapter of that story. Perhaps the first human footsteps on Mars will occur within our lifetime. Perhaps thriving settlements will emerge within the next century. Or perhaps the journey will take longer than expected. Regardless of the timeline, the pursuit itself is transforming science, technology, and our understanding of what humanity can achieve. One day, future generations may look back on this era as the moment when humanity first decided to become a multiplanetary species. They may view Mars not as a distant dream, but as the beginning of a much larger adventure among the stars. As the sun sets over the red horizon and Earth shines faintly in the Martian sky, one truth becomes clear: Mars is more than a planet. It is a symbol of courage, curiosity, and possibility. The question is no longer whether humanity can dream of living on the Mars. The question is whether we are ready to take on the next step into the future. And perhaps somewhere beyond that red horizon, humanity's greatest adventure is just beginning. Thank you.